Hello there and welcome to the lower bracket final. This match will decide who faces Love Nest in the grand final tomorrow. Both of these players have only one life remaining. In this best of three, whoever wins can go on to face Love Nest for a $1,000 max prize. We're watching Nagano, the heavyweight Russian legend, loading in, by the way, with a special rifle command build as Soviets. Who's he up against, Eddie?
The perky pole Kimbo is back again to wreck some dreams and, allowed back into this tournament, Matt, through the great wise council at B in this Master League. And he's allowed to play. We've got the best fighting the best. It's what I've always wanted to see. And no shenanigans here, just good old CoH old-fashioned gameplay. And Kimbo's locked in the defensive doctrine for Austria. Wants to go.
And we'll talk a little bit about Kimbo, actually. Very interesting player. He came onto the scene at the age of 16. He trolled quite a lot, and he eventually got banned from tournament for trolling. He faked his way in with a fake ID. I mean, who else hasn't faked their way into something at the age of 18 with a fake ID? That said, it's technically cheating. He got banned. Fair enough. We gave the Master League patrons the final say on whether he plays in this tournament, and they voted to see his skill. Because that's what he brings to the game, Ed, is a crap ton of skill. A big Polish truck full of skill. This guy actually innovated some mechanics that every player worth his salt is now using. Mostly killing stuff on retreat, but it's still something he added to the game. But a lot of the reconnaissance-based stuff he does in the early game is always very exciting. And in this case, he's just being very aggressive, much like DevM has been in this tournament so far, using the MG and a sight provider to his great advantage. What do we see from Nagano, Ed?
From Nagano, we see an intriguing non-conscript build. So Penals are out first with Clown Car and Toad, double Pioneer opener. So it's going back to the old OKW counter, but this time he is against stiff resistance of Kimbo's Ostroupen. We'll see how the Penals play out.
It's a bold move. Let's see how it plays out indeed. Let's go to the tap map as well, and we'll just show you that because he went Penal Battalion M3 in the early game, that means you cede a lot of map control, of course.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of Nexus today. The earliest telemine known to man, 2 minutes 30. Mark it in your books, folks. That's when you get a nice GG early telemine down. And Kimbo's read from the Penals. He knows there's going to be a clown card to follow. So getting that early telemine down is really insightful play for them.
Good stuff. He also got a little bit of... what a position. There you go. Telemine down. 4 penal battalions. Roll as well.
Wow. Already losing your 15 fuel and 190 manpower. Big win there for Kimbo. Nice exchange. And
Nagano into urban defense as well, Ed, because he needs the M42s now. Because he knows that his mechanics... He's going to be a little bit behind on everything, not just because he lost it, but because he went tier 1. So he needs shock troops to help him out.
Good read, yeah, those baby little AT guns, they add up, they can hurt. And just losing that clown card without even getting a squad or a model with it is just devastating early power here from Kimbo. Great mind read there.
G42 on the base exit, Nagano's being hunted down. Kimbo with an excellent early assault with that Bobby Fischer telemine in position. And he's amassed Ostroupen as well. He's not even bothering to cap the victory point, by the way. He just wants to ensure he's got that double fuel incoming. Could we be seeing a very, very fast support armor core build?
I don't really like this from Nagano. He'd already known the MG42 was there and putting both his Penals down on the south of this map. Could have really done with splitting up the forces and punching through the middle to the cutoffs.
He's not been punished for it, Ed. He's able to get one penal battalion around the arc of fire, and now it's his turn to try and break out. He also pops a Rock 9 flamethrower in the midst of combat, the best time to do so, and he should be able to start securing the south of the map now.
Quite fortunate there that Kimbo didn't really reposition the MG or get ready for that, but he snuck a penal pass, did Nagano, and credit to him now. He can force his fight back from here.
Looks like he's going to do just that. And let's talk a little bit about Kimbo's possibilities in the late game. Sector Assault Artillery, the Stug E. This, of course, is the defensive doctrine, one of the 2 doctrines to have Ostroupen. And
yeah, the Pack 43, though, on this map, behind that big hedgerow to the east of the middle VP. Oof, could be glorious.
Yeah, what a good spot for it.
But I don't think it'll be picked up. But it's still, for your auto match memes, it's one to think of for the fans.
And of course, Nagano just has 4 units at the moment. They do have SVT rifles, the 2 of them. One of them has a flamethrower, claiming his 3rd kill. But they got a 2-2-2 in very quick time from Kimbo. 5 minutes and 18 seconds. We have the scout car out.
Yeah, and Kimbo, the young prodigy, sticking to his timing windows perfectly. He's got the P-Gran and 2-2 by 5 minutes. And a Vet 1 MG, which is quite rare to have at this stage of the game, but Nagano kind of fed it veterancy by charging into it with a lot of penals. And here we go, another mine now down for Nagano, which could scupper the 2-2's plan, but it just changes off course.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, clips it though, right on the side.
Nice. I couldn't spot the mine, it was behind a tree, but it certainly was there.
Sneaky. Yep.
Just near the telemine positioning, so that's going to really thwart the 2-2's advance. Nagano's a master of stalling and fighting on his back, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style.
Or like a beaver. It's been turned upside down.
Like a beaver on his back.
I'll crush you on my belly.
On your tummy, indeed. Was that a sea otter? I'm pretty sure that was a sea otter.
Oh, sorry, yeah, not a beaver.
Yes.
Oh, no, fighting like beavers was the football quote I remember.
Love the little flapping. I can't believe I never saw this flapping engine cover before you pointed it out. It's so cute. And if you think about the 2-2, it has a little face on the front as well. It's such a cute little. Sorry, there's a game to cast. Shock troops push in. They've got the Osttrooper on the retreat path. They're forcing them away with this Papa Shaz.
Alright, Papa Shaz. I allowed you Hummel, but Papa Shaz PPSH. Come on.
That's how the Ruskies say it. Somebody told me once. Somebody confirm in chat. That's like a cute way to say
PPSH knows no bounds. Nah, I'm just trolling you that you're looking for more ways to say things differently to trigger me.
The Hummel, that was made up. That was just made up.
Oh, the Grenadier.
Hey.
Oh, the Grenadier.
Oh, hang on a second. Somebody called Suka, how do you say Suka Bliat? Suka Dmitry in chat. Very Russian-sounding name. Says it is true. It's Papa Shah, so...
I know it is.
Come on, Ed, that's good. Suka Dmitry, I'm going to go with him. Ed Atkins.
There's a more reputable guy. I have not found him then. Suka Dmitry.
Indeed, as the Panzer Grenadiers are coming into the picture, and as soon as Nagano sees it, he hard retreats out of there. The 2-2-2 is running rampant for Kimbo. He's got 3 kills, but look at the map pressure placed at the Russian's hands. He's hiding behind the blossom tree, but it's not a rosy picture at all for him. Just check out some of these stats. We'll check them out in a moment, because we now have the M42, which could turn things in his favour.
Yep, doesn't go for the cutoff point. Instead, just hanging out outside of it. It's going to let the P-Grens go ahead and do that thing. Ooh, baby AT gun announces itself.
Yeah, second shot in there. Nearly destroys the 2-2-2. Meanwhile, got the combat engineers trying to break out of the Kessel, as the Germans would call it. Let's have a little look at the stats as I promised. You can see the KD's wildly in Kimbo's favour. On the graphs, army value-wise, you can see that the moment the M3 was destroyed, it's led to good things. And on points held, oh my Jesus, Kimbo's in an authoritative position.
Yeah, I think this suits Kimbo a lot more going Osttrooper than he used to go mechanized stock a lot of the time, but as we've seen in this tournament, its days are numbered, I feel, with lack of snares or any lockdown. Osttrooper proved to be the meta. Especially backed up by 2 people.
Oh, what a nade by the shock troops with the combat engineers watching on. Mosin Nagant accuracy. There's one guy fighting through the window there.
Oh, he sprints away just in time. Lucky boy. Nice nade though, over the top. Good presence of mind there from Nagano.
Everybody in chat, a lot of people in chat are probably thinking about taking a break right now or skipping through the YouTube video if it's later on, but I promise you, do not do that. Do not be the guy that's saying, hang on, I thought Kimbo was winning. Because I've seen Nagano make some hilarious comebacks in big tournament battles. It has happened, and it will happen again. I'm not promising... Oh, there you go! Nice mine! Takes out the 2-2-2.
2-2 up in flames, and you just see
and another mine!
Does, and that's a P-Gran down as well. Good night, Vienna, for a lot of manpower from Kimbo.
F in chat for everybody that went to do something else for a little while. That's saying comebacks happen and mines win games, and that's what we just saw. 2 units down in the blink of an eye.
Nagano wishing he just had 2 more munis for another nade on this North Osttrooper squad, but It's, I don't know, the VP situation very bad, and resources for Nagano despite those 2 wipes. Kimbo will be charging it into, yeah, he's already got Battle Phase 2 up, and he's going to be rushing out those P4s as soon as he possibly can.
Or even it sounds crazy, but you know, maybe a Stuggy as well as a Panzer IV. He's going to go for M42 baby AT guns, as you call them. So you know, he does have that option available to him.
Yeah, Nagano's got one little out with this doctrine, but I don't know. Could even be flak panzers just to abuse that fire rate.
Kimbo always goes flat panzers. He loves them, doesn't he? Seen him use that a lot.
They can be used more aggressively than the P4s sometimes, due to flanking an AT gun and then blop blop blop.
Talking about mines, we just saw the shock troops lose 3 soldiers of the Radina. As indeed, of course, we've got the Osfin.
Yeah, so he's actually going for the faster time. He could get double Ostrand here very fast. They're only 300 manpower map, which a lot of people kind of forget. That's pretty low cost for an Oster unit.
In the north, looks like the Panzer Grenadiers are up against the combat engineers in the factory. And
the counter in chat, sweepers win games. Yep.
That's true, it's true. He does have a minesweeper
new take
now.
on Hans's motto. But yeah, double shock troops with 2 penal squads. That's a lot of manpower Nagano's got to upkeep here. And it does not have the tier 3 building yet, so no Su-76.
I'm not letting you give Ami Politsai Funk's motto to helping hands, I'm sorry. I can't
Oh, sorry. I didn't know.
No,
we've
just had a letter through for cease and desist for Ed. No, I'm joking. We have the Osfin coming down south. His first target.
Injunctions all over the place.
Oh, yes, he's on an S minefield. Can he clear it before he gets shot? No. That could have been worse, to be fair. Let's check out the north. What do we see up there?
Some good old Pyos with a sweeper trying to battle out against penals. That's a mismatch and a half. But the P-guns come and help out. It's going to have to be a retreat for Nagano, especially with a bundle nade on the retreat.
He goes forward though, Nagano with the game sense there. We now have it possibly for a shock troop grenade on retreat. Perfectly put in position. However, only one of the Soldaten dies.
Nice spacing there from the P-guns, luckily on the retreat path. Saved Nagano there, but good old reach around with the shock troops there. Nice bait with the penals, just stayed in. Dodged a good old nade and came back with his own hit there.
Just had the bug. Do you know where a tank's driving forward and all of a sudden it goes backwards for
yeah, the little
reason?
shimmy.
What is that due to? Nobody knows.
God knows. Can sometimes cost you a shot though, because they go out of range with it.
Hopefully people in chat have noticed I've tried to improve my camera work. I don't know if I've succeeded. I thought that was cool. Just let me know. Osman coming in. Ostrupen pushed away. Nagano's trying to keep in this. He has 1 neutralized victory point right now, but 229 victory points remain in total versus Kimbo's only lost 10, Ed.
And no tech still from Nagano, Matt. This is looking rough. But he does have 2 shock troops, which can be an absolute wipe fest against Ostrupen. They can all turn in an instant with this build order. It's just whether his 2 baby AT guns can deal with these double flak panzers.
Look at this prediction from Kimbo. He knows that Nagano's... Well, he thought Nagano might be pushing down there. He didn't see anything. Now he turns his attention with his flat panzers to the centre because he just uncovered an M42. So you can see his decision making there. Osfin was going to go see what's down south capping. He now knows his first suspicion was true because the penal battalion was there. He's also going to get a Panzer Grenadier on the retreat path, Ed. This could be really bad for this penal battalion squad.
Yeah, and what's different about Kimbo's play is a bit more domesticated from his former feral self. He's a bit more patient now. He groups up his units a bit more for that GG push rather than just throwing in everything one by one as soon as he possibly can. I think he puts a bit more thought into his overall attacks and movements now.
Look at Nagano, he's having to claw every victory point. He's already down to 193, having to smoke nades himself. He's got 3 M42 ADT guns. Bart and PL, eat your heart out.
Bundled nade, no good. P-Gun's forced to retreat. And that wipe with the mines on the second P-Gun squad has proved a saving grace for Nagano. And as we just about get into the mid-game here. Triple baby AT gun, so yeah, Bartadesque for Nagano.
Oh, just saw a big salvo, but didn't actually catch anything. Meanwhile, in the south, penal battalions are having to push in against Ostrup all lined up. We do have a central victory point cap as well. Oh, the shock troops have just found a good nade. It's a smoke nade. They're just pushing in with the Papashas to try and get rid of the MG42. However, they are forced away by the Ostwind.
And like we've seen for the Oster earlier, no snares now for the Soviets. So this is going to be a painful retreat. The little baby AT guns are going to potentially drive off this Flak Panzer, but no, he's going in ham for this shock trooper wipe.
Certainly, as we have incendiary rounds on the Vet 2 combat engineers. Will they survive? They escape the cone of fire there, just about.
But the Flak Panzer's waiting for them at home, Matt. This could be a wipe on the Flamer.
M42s, though, were waiting, and he was aware of that. He's not overextending Kimbo, and as you say, this guy played like a genius at the age of 16, but quite frankly, he was a boy, and he used to get nervous. He's now playing like a young man. He's playing a lot more maturely and in control of his ability, and he's not feral. He's tamed himself, and you're right to say it, Ed. You're right to say it. He is playing with more mature
a bit less
outlook.
brute force and a bit more smarts from him, yeah. But in a weird sense, it kind of decreases his natural power of what he did have of that unpredictable, just all-in mad aggression, pushing every unit to the boundaries of their performance. But yeah, I think overall though it's favored Kimbo in tournament play. Like in order match, I think he'll lose more often with this style compared to what he was used to. You know, back in the day when he was rank 1, all factions just smothering everyone. But in tournament, it definitely.
Oh, what a shot by the Flak Panzer. Shock troops in utmost peril there. That was deadly. It really was. And look at the fuel on Kimbo. I wonder if he's even... Yeah, he's going battle phase 3. I thought there was a lull in activity there.
Could be a good old bombard just to bug splat all of these squads with no snares. And the baby AT guns up against the bombards. Armor could be troublesome. He knows also Nagano has the KV2 eventually. So once Nagano can tech up, a Panther will be better against the KV2 than a P4.
Penal Battalion's just chilling in the centre, keeping that victory point. We've had a good push away with the M42s backing up in the south. Oh, Bundle Nade though nearly destroys the Penal Battalions who are protecting so valiantly. And the Flak Panzer finishes the job almost. Not quite.
Not quite, yeah. Just gets away. No cigar there for Kimbo. Very close. Two Pioneers was a good choice. He did have the second P-Gren in the build map, but he cancelled it and went back for a Pyre, so it's definitely going to help him keep these Ostwinds singing as the map crawls in past the mid-game.
Got a lull in activity as both players lick their wounds and rest and recuperate and repair. The 3 R's of any lull in activity. Just be aware that the battle is going to recommence and
yeah, reinforce for another R, but oh
damn it!
Dodging nades on the daily here is of both players.
There you go. We're playing a bit of grenade tennis. It would have been Wimbledon this time of the year, usually, as Ed pointed out earlier today. Instead, we're having a macabre World War II simulation version of tennis.
Yeah, no strawberries and cream, and so we get rain and CO2, but I'm not complaining. Good all. Nexus and chill, as said in chat earlier, and what a way to showcase this map as well with 2 of the best players at the moment. Probably one of the most aggressive in Kimbo and Nagano, steady old hand. He's desperately thinking about teching now and how he's going to showcase this potential comeback. Yeah,
we've got 4 M42s now. 4 M42s. That's
I think that's enough. 18.
100 and yeah, indeed.
That's his guns basically.
168 millimeters worth of baby AT guns. As the look at those incendiary.
Remember when they first came in though? They just shredded infantry as well with the high explosive canisters. Luckily that got a bit nerfed, but yeah, that is gonna. Oh, it's gonna be a Werfer from Kimbo. No Bomber. All right.
Werfer. That's a very good thing to have when you're up against 4 M42s and a collagenated anti-tank blob.
But as Queer had said in his interview, it didn't really work out for him in his 1v1, so...
Very orangey orientated.
We'll see, yeah. Can Kimbo maneuver Nagano into a position where all his units are under one big barrage ability?
Shock troops low. M42s now don't have any squad protecting them except for the combat engineers. Meanwhile, in the north, by the way, we have a push in over S minefield with an Ostwind watching over. Now the Panzerwerfer is targeting these support weapons. Let's look at that volley. It's a good one. A lot of individual crew members died. Meanwhile, in the north, oh my lord, penal battalions getting brutalised. We do have sector artillery as well. And Nagano's thrown in the towel. 1-0 to Kimbo. We're live. Back on air. Ed's no webcam for Ed today. We didn't want to risk any frame rate droppage, and Tightrope gave us a tip that it was nuking my frame rate, and I think he might have been right. But Ed and I have been enjoying the festivities, watching a grudge match between Kimbo and Nagano. Now we've got 1-0 to the Polish prodigy, and not his friend prodigy. And yeah, we've hopefully got some polls out in chat. Dzień dobry.
See what he can do when he's got the faith of the community behind him a bit more, Matt.
Yeah,
this young prodigy. I should have been his manager. Take
yeah,
them
you
right
could have
to the
kept
very
him on the
esports
right
top.
path all the while, you know.
You can play StarCraft now. Go, go, go. But yeah, he's played all sorts of strategy games in his off period from CoH, so it only ever helped bolster his all-round games ability and micro skills. And I think yeah, Nagano just going in with the penals there, probably wanting to bully the kid, and just realize, yep, Kimbo's made of sterner stuff now.
Yeah, it just didn't work, did it? I think it was a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just seems he got a lot of good minds off early game, but no map control versus those Ostrip, and his penals getting suppressed by the MG twice over in the first engagements just was the tail of the tape for the rest of the match. As the better player in the tournament gets, the more crucial the early game is, and how it can just dictate the rest of the mid game, especially with somebody like Kimbo, who is basically the pinnacle of a snowballing player. He'll just build and build and build and crush you very early on.
Yeah, he's a very good early game player for certain. He's got that kind of Dev M kind of style. I would have loved to watch the Dev M Kimbo games earlier. It's that aggressive, looking to snowball with constant waves of control. And gosh, it's getting hot in here. In the tournament, I mean, but also in this room. Well, his Loveness was sweating his way.
Thermal paste all over yourself. Arctic thermal paste. Keep in mind, yeah, God, I learned the bad lessons of last summer when my laptop just set on fire. So gone for a big, proper Chad gaming PC now. Seems pretty cool. I think it's the only thing cool in this room. But yeah, why do you have a picture only? My frame is too heavy for the internet. Corona-induced diet, dude. Too much frame droppage if we have the double video going all the time. So we've learned from our mistake.
Just one thing to remember to turn off every single time we go live, and you know, it might be better to chill. Maybe we'll try it tomorrow, Ed. Maybe we'll do it for the grand final. What do you say?
Yeah, I don't mind.
don't mind. Totally do mind.
No, we could see how it goes. Because I don't
every
want
time
you
we go
getting
live,
frame
just turn the video off, and then it'll be fine, won't it?
Okay, yeah. But knowing you and your hotkeys,
I can't turn your video
you'll
on.
probably get your browser history up instead by mistake.
Mate, if I could turn other people's webcams on, I'm pretty sure I'd be in prison.
But yeah, so I'm not on webcam, but all the players are actually with the referee this turnaround, and yeah,
certainly are.
It's an interesting twist.
Hey, Tightrope says Momo always forgot. So I can't remember if Tightrope's still awake. Must be having one of those very, very, very late Saturday night / Sunday mornings. But a big shout out to him. I've had much better frame rate today, so it was a good spot, to be honest.
Yeah, one thing casting a load of CoH games, but when it's insane o'clock late at night, yeah, good effort there from Tightrope. If anyone's new to the game as well in the chat, there's a brilliant little tips and tricks from Tightrope series on YouTube. You can find it, and it will definitely help you no matter what your skill level or your experience with Co2 and RTS or World War II esque games. It will definitely help you right down to the nitty gritty details. Luciano Co. representing from Argentina as well. Got a eclectic mix of people in chat. Stormjaeger from Greece, I
Greece.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
He snuck into the UK for a bit, but still a Greek at heart. 190 Fucker Wolf, guess where he's from? And yeah.
Fucker Wolf. Oh god, he'll definitely be from Peru.
Yep. Got Mr. Saipan and Greed, they're from Peru. The new Peruvian mafia dude of TV2, man. I don't know if you've seen
I
them
don't know where
lurking
it's
around,
cropped
but
up from.
they're
Yeah.
good. Very good players. Got some Portugal with Morphine, yep. You'd like to see Devem do well, I'm sure.
Yeah,
We haven't got a Madeira player, have we? Is there anyone from Madeira?
I've never even heard of Madeira. What is a Madeira?
Madeira is like a little island off of Portugal. I think they're owned by Portugal, but it's technically a separate. Basically, Cristiano Ronaldo is Madeiran, but at a young age, he played for like a Portuguese club
Oh.
at like 10 years old or 9 years old, and then he played for Portugal ever. But all the Madeiran fans are like, "No, he's ours," like.
Yeah, like Mallorca with Rafael Nadal. By the way, guys, just to let you know, refreshing the lobby, we are now exactly 4 minutes away from the game being officially casted live. So that's where you're at, 4 minutes.
I'm just going to go off mic for a couple of minutes, but I'll be back in time, Matt. Yep.
Yeah, me too. But we're all in a lobby, guys, so don't worry. I've got Ed 80 Hertz here. And as I say, we'll be back in 3 minutes for the live game. I'm going to have a break too. See you later. One minute till live, guys. 1 minute.
Hello and welcome back to Game 2 of the Portuguese Prodigy, aka Polish Prodigy. Whoops, so used to saying it for DevM. It is Kimbo with USF, and he has recon support. Oh, no he doesn't. I was going to say his available doctors. He's already locked in the mechanized company, and up against the mat in the east will be...
It is, of course, from the Rucker clan from Russia. It's Jove. It's Nagano playing as the Ostroupen. Just thought I'd join in. I'm just joking, mate. Ostroupen Doctrine. Playing,
I'm
course.
I'm tongue-tied, mate.
Well, no, I get
Too many
you, though,
prodigies
because-
these days. Where's the old boomers in this? I guess
But-
Nagano is the boomer hope of this tournament. So
He
I'm
certainly
rooting
is.
for
He's
Nagano
around
now.
our age range, at least. I think he's a couple of years younger than you or I, but who isn't in this community? Kimbo, by the way, knocked out DevM, so I can completely understand Ed accidentally name-dropping DevM there, because Kimbo plays a lot like him with that aggressive early-game kind of rush mentality, and he also knocked him out in today's proceedings. He now finds himself up against the player knocked out by Lovenest. The winner of this series goes through to face Lovenest in the grand final tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of KOs in this tournament, but two fine players proving their worth still in it. And trying to sneaky cap that fuel is Nagano, but to no avail. Kimbo does have the rifleman in tow, double rifleman. In fact,
yeah, double rifleman. It's soon to be triple. If you're wondering why it's only best of 3, of course, it's double elimination. These guys are on their last life. They've already lost one match this tournament against very good opposition. Nagano was sent down by Lovenest. Kimbo was sent down by... Was it like Happy Cat or somebody? Quiritz, maybe. It was somebody like that. I can't remember. Go check out the brackets. Good shout out in chat there. The brackets will save you.
yeah, I'm actually intrigued now.
That was the noise of somebody that hasn't got a full attention, but as ever...
Totally old tabbed here, folks.
Happy Cat, I was right. I should have trusted myself, Legio, as always. By the way, these Pioneers are a little bit low. The riflemen jump in the garrison. They can't see them now. I'll just show you that. They're only just now spotting them. And now he jumps out, indeed, Kimbo, and he might get him on retreat here, but there are Ostroupen waiting for him. So as a reverse Admiral Akbar, a double trap.
Yeah, he didn't know which to target there, did Kimbo, but rightfully now he focuses on the Ostroupen with the rifleman. MG42 spewing out bullets, and the rifleman soft retreated though, didn't have to full retreat back, which is good for Kimbo.
Riflemen making their way to the centre. The MG's repositioning as we speak. Kimbo, is he going for anything? No, he's not going for anything intriguing like nades in the game. He's just going to go for raw M1 Garand power with that pop every time they reload. That famous ping. These guys want best carbines.
The best thing of World War II games, yeah. But good risk management and, well, risk for reward management there by Kimbo. He gives up on cutting off Nagano, because he had no other territories connected anyway, so it's kind of pointless, and instead it's done the big old Polish command blob squad towards this MG42.
He has indeed, and the rear echelons were actually the tip of the arrowhead there, forcing away the MG, but here come the MP40s and the Kar 98Ks of the Pioneers and the Ostroupen in tow. He needs to keep this fueled as Nagano. He's 1-0 down in this series. He cannot afford Kimbo to have a fast start.
Yeah, Kimbo now getting the cut-off, but sitting down on his shots with those riflemen perfectly there, forces off another Ostroupen squad. It's now the sanctuary of the P-Grens that the Ostroupen have to rely on, and they're in the build order already, Matt, but quite late in terms of build time on the P-Grens that we've seen in previous games, but that just shows how boisterous and busy this early game has been.
Rear echelon awaiting, because they just want to keep that cut off for as long as possible. MG42 will be more than enough to claim it back. Meanwhile, this Ostroupen squad's having to tank damage to keep the fuel. We have a 50 cal coming out for Kimbo. Lieutenant out as well. This guy's build order is timed to perfection, and he will soon take away the fuel.
Interesting, Kimbo hasn't gone for the WC-51 that we saw Lovenest utilize earlier. Instead, he's just going all out infantry blob. Lieutenant straight into 50 cal. I don't know. I think this is a bit bit fortunate for Nagano not to have to deal with that troublesome WC-51.
Down in the south, we do have a tentative S minefield, but the Pioneer's been uncovered. Oh. Did he get a sneaky patch off still? They've got loads of flags for one patch. World's most dangerous mine.
Yeah, but I don't think Kimbo's going to get a sweeper anytime soon. No, he is. Boom. Okay, so he did. He saw that one little patch, Matt, and he was triggered enough to get a sweeper forward. So fair play. Nagano did his job.
He certainly did. He's warded him off
Mind
for
games.
now. But as I say, he's lost so much fuel, and of course Kimbo will have gotten his, indeed, there it is, mechanized platoon command post, and the Stuart already on its way. This is just you guys, get your textbooks out, just write all this down, the timings, the prioritization of strategic point capture, the pressure applied and when he applied that pressure, but most importantly, where he applied that pressure. Very early in the game, the map was a very intricate patchwork quilt of carefully designed choices from Kimbo Madslice, and it's worked to perfection. I'm not just complimenting him because I'm a fan, I'm just complimenting him because he's played very, very well in this game too, and it deserves respect.
Interesting. 50 cal setup there as well, Matt. He did a full 180 and set up behind himself, expecting the P-guns right on his rear, but the P-guns instead opt to go around the house and take the cutoff. Plus pressure the lieutenant on the troop path. Oh, he pump faked the grenade. Didn't throw it in time.
Keeps the munitions, of course, in the bag, Nagano does, but he is now up against the Stuart. Let's get eyes on where its mode of travel is. It's against this Panzer Grenadier, and that's going to be a rude awakening for him. He's very low on health as well. This could be bad. The first shot, however, careers against the wall. We have a lot of squads on the retreat path that could act as a distraction, but the Stuart is single-minded in its voyage, 34 manpower per casualty.
And this is Kimbo. He will push everything to the extreme. 2-2 is going to come in and try and intercept a bit. Potentially put pressure on another unit, forcing Kimbo to have to pull back to Stuart to concentrate elsewhere. But yeah, it's not what you want to see, is it? As soon as you get a 2-2, a Stuart's already on the field. Feels bad, man.
That's from losing the fuel and, you know, not being able to keep it. The 222 is able to push away the rifle and actually keep some fuel coming in for Nagano for the meanwhile. But this Stuart has gone ham with 3 kills early on. And, yeah, Nagano could do with a stroke of luck from somewhere.
Yeah, me and veteran 1v1 Tomokazu were watching Kimbo the other day, just an order match, casually. And we see how he just soft retreats so much with, like, the MG42, we just saw it there. Doesn't care about his opponent trying to snipe the last model. He just seems to always be baiting with his squads constantly.
Yeah. He's infuriating to play against. You know, he's absolutely infuriating to play against. A lot of players can't stand him, not on a personal level, just because of how he plays and what it's been like to play against him. If he's finally got rid of his curse of nerves in 1v1 events. I mean, he used to be very nervous and basically completely throw the game and choke. He was a bit of a choke artist, but he's quite a young guy and seemingly he's a lot more in control now. And that's a scary prospect for the likes of Nagano and all the other guys because, you know, he's always skilled. If he's controlling the choke, maybe he's a danger in these big tournaments now.
Yeah, I think you feel more comfortable, especially with his practice and being allowed in more tournaments. The only way you get better at tourneys is playing in them. So, you know, due to whatever reasons in the past, he hasn't been able to play in some, but this time now,
he's
getting
not
all
trolling
that
anymore.
valid experience.
He seems a lot more nicer guy this year. He's helped out people with tournaments, etc. He still trolls now and again if you give him reason to, but who doesn't? I mean, me and you'll do that, and we're in our 30s.
Yeah, we've all got to have a bit of fun in our lives, but yeah, so yeah, I just think now that he can get some consistent tourney practice, yeah, he'll only go from strength to strength. I feel so young as well, still, Matt. Like,
yeah, 18 is nothing.
He won a 2v2 tournament when he was a baby.
Yeah, rear echelons down in the south, plinking away against Ostrupen in a battle as interesting as these barrels. So we've got a choice. We could cast the barrels or we could cast rear echelons versus Ostrupen. I'll leave it up to chat to decide. Oh no, we're going to have the decision made for us. They're going to take refuge behind them, perhaps. Meanwhile, in the centre, Stuart versus MG42. Stuart now claiming his 5th kill.
Yeah, we had some lightweight AP ammo used from the MG42 there, just making sure the Stuart knows what's up, but it's actually very good tank versus AP ammo. It doesn't take much damage at all from it, as opposed to the flak half track. If you go captain, can get so lit up.
Well, pointed out by top 50 player and now a caster, everybody. Tightrope's got into casting as of this weekend, pointing out that for some reason the guy has built the pack rather than go for the weapon drop. Not too sure about that.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
he's
supply
playing with a
drop
bit of-
is 400 manpower, so you're paying a bit more manpower, but you do get an MG34 and a bit of munis and fuel. So yeah, it just depends at the timing of when he clicked the button, what Nagano wanted for. But yeah, why you go this auction and you don't utilize that, or no one utilizes the artillery field officer for some reason, which in Vet 3 could be a hell of a unit.
A lot going on right now, Ed. It's all breaking down. We've got Kimbo coming in from multiple directions with the Browning automatics blazing. We've got Pioneers ready to anticipate them. We've got a Panzer Grenadier really low on health. Nagano's not spotted it. He retreats it much too late. And now the Blob is in position, as is the Stuart. They all turn their attention on the Panzer Grenadier in time. They're focus firing him. Will they get the killing blows? No, they won't. The 222 comes into position, also giving them an issue.
Yeah, it was almost... There's a lot of HP though on that peak, and he is getting blocked by his own MG42, but he just about pushes through the crowd of his own troops and gets home. Stuart and the 222 have a little skirmish. I mean, how Nagano's been able to keep that alive.
Pack 40 taken in the north there, and we've also got Riflemen in position to steal it. So not only, in all the confusion, yet again, Ed, nothing seemed to die except an AT gun that was decrewed. We had that earlier on in the series today. We've had it here yet again. Kimbo did get the spoils of war.
But a huge win there for Kimbo though, because he forced off a lot of the squads, as well as that manpower bleed onto the P-Grens. And we're thinking about the weapon drop. That's definitely far away now in terms of manpower count for Nagano.
Yes, indeed. And let's just have a look at this. And Nagano's thrown in the towel. He's a pissed off guy. He's not happy with his performance today. Kimbo takes the series 2-0 in your grand final for tomorrow, starting at 1300 BST on this very channel, is Love Nest versus Kimbo. GG, well played. And, wow, what a series by Kimbo. That second game, Ed, the USF play was off the charts there.
Yeah, it just put the early pressure on and didn't stop off. Didn't even need the WC-51 to close the show. Nagano, I think, a bit disgruntled and a bit unhappy about his recent performances.
Yeah.
And it's just showed the frustration of game one transferred across into game two. And even though he brought out the old Ostrup meta, we just saw rightfully beaten. I mean, the Steward coming out at the exact same timing as the 2-2 was basically all you needed to see there. But great play there from Kimbo, attacking on all fronts, taking out the Pack 40, and Nagano at 11 minutes in throws in the towel. One could argue a bit too early, but I think it was just Kimbo's sheer dominance that tilted his opponent there.
Tilted him, exactly. I think, whatever you want to say, Kimbo was just winning the gunfights, just like Love Nest was in that previous game. Nagano did not seem on form today, but you cannot take anything away from Love Nest and Kimbo. Love Nest in that deciding ace game, Kimbo in that game too. They're picking their moments with that USF play. Nagano's build as Wehrmacht did not have an answer to it. And that makes me think Nagano is such a famous player for OKW. Now playing Wehrmacht, is it suiting him, or should he possibly go, just like Asiaman, go back to OKW play? Perhaps?
Yeah, I preferred him as OKW, to be honest. Seemed his more natural faction of choice, especially in his 2v2 campaign. Scotch was always the austere boy, and Nagano was the OKW. So I don't know, but I just think it's Kimbo throwing him off as well. Kimbo's chosen different doctrines. Yes, they're meta, but he's made them work, and he's enacted them with far more efficiency than his opponent in these last two games, as we've seen. So Nagano back to the drawing board for him, and Kimbo marches on.
Yeah, he does indeed. He's playing extremely well, as is Love Nest. So if we just go over to the Master League table, which is actually the noun. This is the Master League, if you will. You can see that Love Nest, #1 ranked player in the world, and Kimbo's number 11. But the points up for grabs in this this event. It's a major, so the winner will get 12 points, and the second will get 7. So already, Kimbo, you take his 9.1, he's already jumping up the ranks, but he has the possibility to be in the top 5 after this tournament and go on from there to greater heights. So it's he's doing extremely well indeed. And if we go over to the brackets now, you can see the grand final is opened up. The winner will get $1,000. The loser, $450. If your hard-earned cash, as funded by Patreon, and Ed, talk us through what this grayed out option is, just for those guys that haven't quite encountered double elimination before.
Okay, so the grayed out option is a bit like maybe from other esports tournaments where there's a grand final game of Loveness and Kimbo, but if Kimbo wins from coming from the lower bracket, Loveness then has another game, basically playing him again in a best of 5 grand final, ultimate grand final, should I say? So you could get a back-to-back game of the same 2 players across 2 different series, and it would just be, if that doesn't settle it, then I don't know what will to say who's the best player.
And indeed, we've got a fantastic grand final coming for you tomorrow. I mean, an excellent event. Ed and I casting it from 1 p.m. BST, just to allow for the possibility that
I like how you brought it forward as soon as all the Asian players have been knocked out of the tournament.
The NA players, you mean? Yeah. Well, we had NA players, didn't we? They can't make Von Ivan wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And
5
it was late
o'clock's good enough.
For Asia Mint and Asher and others as well.
Well, the good news is we're going to have 2 series per day going forward in all these events. We're not going to have 3 in a day anymore. So, unfortunately, this huge double elimination tournament, we won't be able to do this in the future. But we've done it once at least, so it was good whilst it for this one. It was really good, actually.
For the maiden voyage of the old Masters League, I think it's good to see who's the best, and then in future ones, it'll just be about either defending your throne or a whole new young pretender can usurp you. We'll see.
We have 4 new people as patrons today. They all get the opportunity to vote on what is the next tournament. We're going to choose the format, then we're going to choose the name. Guys, I'll read some surnames here because we've got Murashenko, Del Singh, somebody called Atkins, never heard of him, and Durta EU. All those 4 guys are now patrons, and we're going to have a vote. It looks likely at this point, we're shortlisting it right now. The topics at hand will be mystery opponents, where we can vote on who gets who in the quarterfinals and semi-finals, just like flip it around a little bit to make things exciting. Commander Veto tournament, where all the players go into the tournament saying what they don't want to play against, and it's public info, so players can strategize against the non-meta and work things out in advance. World Cup, FIFA kind of draw system with the group phases and then pots afterwards, deciding who faces who. Really cool. And some other ideas that are coming in right now as well. So we will have that very soon indeed.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to with the series. And also, we've got one last series to cast today, Matt. Am I right? Or
nope. We're in the grand final now. Loveness
oh yeah, we're done. What am I on about? There's no more lower bracket shenanigans.
Hang on a second. Alpern versus Seeking. We'll decide that.
Let's go. Best of 1. Winner gets all the Patreon money. But okay. So we're all fully done for today. Gee, sorry, my brain's
it's all right, mate. No
brain's
problems.
on about 5-hour delay. It's like a flight from New York to London.
Angry Dutchman's one of the patrons. That makes more sense. I see it. Stein, I get it. Stein D. Oh, that makes perfect sense. So we do have Angry Dutchman is now a supporter of the Patreon. He gets to vote on the tournaments he competes in. It's nice. Hey, and welcome 101st Airborne in chat. Our Korean correspondent, our official Korean caster. Probably been entertaining like 20,000 people.
Some say he was actually born in the air.
Paratrooped into place.
Or 1,000 Mile High Club, baby. Who knows? But no, great to see him come in. And yeah, like we were saying earlier, with the ever-growing Korean KOTUS scene, it's really good to see the KOTUS. A lot of new fans coming in, and not only fans, but top players as well, as we saw with Asia Mint, Asher Blow, and I'm sure there'll be many more. I want to see Malgari God with his USF up there in future tourneys, but he may have to learn Axis to get in, because you can't be a one-trick pony in the Masters League.
You certainly can't. You have to There's going to be one tournament every 2 months as well. So even if you are a one-trick pony, you'll be found out soon enough. And all the players that have lost today, Nagano getting 3rd place and $200, not too shabby. Devem getting 4th place, etc. All the way down to everybody that competed, from Jibber Jabber Jobber with seed 32 against Love Nest. Battling
Tough test,
through.
but he'll always improve, Jibber. I think he's just got an insane austere game on him. Well, as soon as he learns a bit of allies, he's like the opposite of Malgari. He needs to swap with him, and they teach each other their trade, maybe. But yeah, I think there's a lot of players like that, like especially with Quiritz as well. I remember him being like a UKF main whenever I played against him. He was an absolute god. But then as austere, I don't know, he seemed to lack a bit of the
Yeah.
meta and the know-how. You're going to see these players they're on the fringes now, but they could potentially be the future, Kimbos as well at the top. So
Just
who's to
highlighting the
say?
people we're talking about on screen, by the way. There's Jibber Jabber Jobber's path through the tournament, lost to Love Nest, then beat Jay for Jet, then lost to Kimbo. Quiritz, who was just mentioned, actually lost his first match versus Who Run Bartertown, and then became a superstar of the lower bracket, coming all the way into the final weekend. That's his path through the tournament, claiming 5th and 6th place, and I think $40, not too shabby. All these prize points will increase. I was very keen to get 1,000 for first place, so I kind of made first place OP in this tournament. But yeah, we should be having that. Especially there's Quiritz's path through the event, and Alpern exceeded himself as well, of course. We're going to show him on screen now. Alpern beat Helping Hands, got through to the upper bracket round 2. Lost
destroying Brit dreams. No, we still haven't had a British player get to the final stages of a tourney in quite a while. But I think Alpern, yeah, just showing his sheer grind and like persistence with playing 1v1s out of his skin, and finally translating that to a tourney setting and performing very well in the Masters League. It's got to be said.
Yeah, he's done very well indeed. Master League constantly showing some excellent players breaking out of the mold and showing what they've got. It's really cool to see. That's all from Ed and I today, I suppose. We will be cracking on now and going to enjoy some other stuff in our life. Let's hope before we come back to you on our screens at 1 p.m. BST tomorrow, an hour earlier than usual. The reason being is because there is a possibility of 2 best of 5, so we have to allow for it. And we're going to have a bit of a break in between. Big shout out to every referee involved. I'll keep shouting them out because they've had a fantastic tournament and a really good job. And again, to all the patrons that made this possible, much love from me and Ed. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a lovely Saturday evening. See you on Sunday afternoon, British time, or whatever time in the world that is for you. And cheers, and thanks to you as well, Ed.
Yep, thanks, A, and thanks everyone for stopping by. It's been a great blast. Cheers.
Bye. Let's raid up. Raid up. Shall we raid? Droid Imperial Dane. Droid. Who do you think?
Imperial Day. Come on.
That'll be
Gotta
funny.
be.
Let's do Imperial Dane. We gave him so many impressions. We owe him rights now. So, and we know you can hear us. Don't worry. The professionalism side of the stream finished when we said goodbye.
We saw a couple of Stugs today, so we're going to summon our inner Dane. Get on over there. Thanks, folks, for coming by, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ta!
Raid in 3, 2, 1. Raid up.